I once had a food delivery app open for so long that the restaurant closed. Not sold out, closed. For the night. 2 hours of scrolling, 40 things dragged in and out of the cart, and my final, hard-won decision was a glass of tap water and lying face down on the couch. And here's the genuinely confusing part. That same week, I made an actual grown-up decision at work, a big one, before my coffee was even cold. Didn't blink. Hi, I'm Sophie. So it's not that I can't decide. Somewhere between the big stuff and the couch, my picker just quietly broke. And if yours does that too, freezes on the tiny things while somehow surviving the huge ones, you are not wishy-washy, and you're definitely not indecisive. It has a name, and the name changes what you do about it. Let me be specific, because this isn't the light little version, the "ooh, I just can't pick a restaurant" version. It's standing in front of your open closet, already late, physically unable to pick a shirt, while 40 other shirts stare back like a panel of judges. It's the question, so what do you want for dinner? Landing in your body like a pop quiz you didn't study for. It's rescheduling the same 15-minute task so many times it develops a personality. It's a browser with 30 tabs open. Best water bottle. Which one is actually good? Is this normal? None of which you will ever close. Because closing one means deciding. And it's the specific low-grade shame of it. Because you can run a meeting. You can handle the scary important calls. So why does a 2-topping pizza turn you into a frozen laptop with the little spinning wheel? And here's the thing to hold on to. The fact that the small choices are the ones taking you down isn't a flaw in you. It's a clue, a really good one. And it points somewhere specific. All right, actual science now, and I'll keep it in plain English. Start here. Making decisions costs something. Every choice you make runs your brain's battery down a little. And not just the big ones. Researchers call the slow drain of choosing over and over decision fatigue. There's a famous study of parole judges, Danziger and colleagues, published in 2011, where favorable rulings started high in the morning, sagged toward almost nothing right before a break, and then bounced back up after the judges ate and rested. Same judges, same cases. The thing that moved the needle was how drained they were. Fair warning, researchers still argue about the size of that effect. But the basic idea holds up. A tired brain decides worse. Now, if normal life slowly drains the battery, burnout is what happens when it's chronically near empty. And burnout isn't a vibe. The World Health Organization put it in its official rulebook back in 2019, calling it an occupational phenomenon, exhaustion, growing cynicism, and a creeping sense that you can't do your job well anymore. When you're there, you don't wake up at 100% and spend down. You wake up at 4%, in the red, before you've decided a single thing. And here's the part that finally made me forgive myself. Your brain has a specific department for weighing options and planning ahead. The prefrontal cortex, right behind your forehead. Neuroscientist Amy Arnsten, in a 2009 paper, describes how chronic, uncontrollable stress actually impairs that region and hands control over to your brain's older, more reflexive circuits. In plain terms, under long stress, the deciding machinery is the first thing to brown out. You're not refusing to choose. The chooser is offline, running on emergency power. So why does a tiny menu feel enormous? There's a classic experiment by Iyengar and Mark Lepper, back in 2000, the jam study. A grocery display with 24 jams drew big crowds, but a display with only 6 jams sold about 10 times more. Too many options don't feel like freedom, they feel like a threat. And when your prefrontal cortex is already dimmed, your tolerance for options collapses, so a 6-item takeout menu genuinely lands like a wall of 24 gems. Same wall everyone else sees. You're just trying to climb it at 4%. That's not indecision. That's a low battery meeting an oversized menu. Let me tell you what my own low power mode looked like, because it was not cute. During my worst burnout stretch, I wore the same 3 outfits on a loop and ate the same 2 safe meals for about a month. Not because I loved them, but because choosing anything new felt genuinely impossible. And I had this browser graveyard, 30-something tabs, an office chair I'd been researching since spring, 4 different water bottles, a paint color for a wall I never painted, tabs I couldn't close and couldn't act on, just open, humming, judging me. I finally admitted to my therapist that I felt pathetic, that I could lead a whole project but couldn't pick a throw pillow. I braced for a pep talk. Instead, she just said, "Sophie, you're not indecisive, you're rationing." And something in me went quiet, because that was exactly it. I'd been running on emergency power for so long that my brain had quietly shut down the whole choosing department to keep the lights on everywhere else, like a phone that grays out the fun naps to protect the last of the battery. The picker wasn't broken. It had been switched off on purpose, to keep me alive. Okay, if you recognize yourself in any of this, here's what genuinely helps. 3 moves, and none of them need a spare drop of energy you don't have. 1. Turn small decisions into rules, not choices. Every tiny call you make by hand quietly drains the battery. So stop deciding the repeat stuff and start defaulting it. A uniform for work. I said dinner rotation. Monday is the same thing every week forever. A default coffee order you never rethink. This isn't you becoming boring. It's you taking the pointless little decisions off the meter, so there's something left in the tank for the ones that actually deserve you. 2. Cap the menu and pick good enough. For any real choice, don't survey the entire universe of options. Give yourself 2, maybe 3, and a finish line. I'll pick by the time the kettle boils. Then take the first one that clears the bar of good enough and walk away. Chasing the best possible option is the exact thing that fries a tired brain. You can research a water bottle for a week and end up thirsty. Good enough isn't settling. On a low battery, good enough is the whole strategy. 3. Decide big things on a full charge and treat the rest as the real fix. Notice when your battery is actually highest. For a lot of people, that's earlier in the day, after food, not at 11 p.m., and park the genuinely important decisions there. Never decide the big stuff from empty. And the honest one, because I promised you honesty, if the battery is chronically flat, no clever trick refills it. The real repair for burnout isn't a smarter to-do app. It's rest and taking things off your plate, actually lightening the load your brain has been carrying. And this is the reframe I wish I'd had years ago. Indecisive is only what it looks like from the outside. From the inside, it's a battery that's been in the red for months and a menu that's 3 sizes too big, run by a brain that's been quietly protecting you the entire time. The freeze on the small stuff was never a sign you're flaky. It was a sign that something in you was smart enough to start rationing before you completely ran out. So the fix was never just pick something or trust your gut. Your gut is asleep, it's conserving power. The fix is quieter than that. Give the decider fewer jobs, smaller menus, and an actual chance to recharge. And a real note, because I'd be lying by leaving it out. Burnout is a genuine thing, not a character weakness. And if yours isn't lifting even when you rest, that's worth taking to a doctor or a therapist. That's not admitting defeat. That's plugging in at the wall instead of hoping the last 4% lasts forever. You were never bad at choosing. You've just been choosing on almost empty for a very long time. So if you've been quietly calling yourself flaky for something that's actually exhaustion, I see you, and you can put that word down now. Drop a comment and tell me the one tiny decision that somehow crashes your whole system. Dinner? What to watch? Which checkout line to stand in? Mine is apparently ordering takeout until the kitchen physically closes. Say it down here. It's a weirdly nice relief to find out everyone's got one. I read every single one. If this put a name to something you've been dragging around without one, hit subscribe. This is the whole point of the channel, taking the messy, tangled stuff and making it make sense, 1 week at a time. That part of you that started shutting things off to keep you upright, it wasn't failing you, it was rationing, so you'd make it through. It can stand down now. It's allowed to plug back in, and it's allowed to rest. I'll see you in the next one, and take care.